Welcome to a floral cone tutorial card set. I'm Shari Philomohala here at the G45 headquarters, and today I'm going to teach you how to take some Café Parisian papers and turn them into these dimensional, delightful cards. These cards this month have been created for us by Nancy Wethington. So check out how much fun we're going to be having creating these floral cone card sets. We're going to do some fun flower techniques. We're going to make some dimensional cards that really pop. And we're going to teach you different ways to take that same technique and add a different flair onto it. So much fun to be had in this tutorial. But of course, if you like things on the more flat side, you want to throw this in the mail, we also have you covered where we'll teach you these 3 cards, but then I'll tell you what you need to recreate these, and you can do all 6 of these with our card kit. Now to create these cards, you're going to need our volume 9 card kit. In that kit, you're going to get our Café Parisian 8x8 papers. You get 24 double-sided sheets in there. You're going to get the Café Parisian chipboard, as well as our new marine blue Inkpad, our Ivory flower assortments, which come with so many fun die-cut pieces, including butterflies, florals, stems, and of course the A2 Kraft card bases and envelopes. You get 6 of each of those, and the step-by-step project sheet and graphic 45 bag to store all your leftover goodies in. So to pick up the kit, you can head on down to our website, G45papers.com, or you can head to your local G45 retailer to pick up the supplies. Of course, you can always follow along with what you've got in your stash at home. So either way, we encourage you to grab some fun papers and join us for this fabulous and fun tutorial. We're using Kraft heavy-duty card bases that are 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches. Of course, you could use any coordinating cardstock or card bases that are this size. Card 1. For card 1, step 1, we've cut our pedophore paper to be 4 inches by 5 1/4 and adhered that to the card front. Cut a piece of parasol bouquet to 3.5 by 4 3/4, and then I've added some foam adhesive to the back to give this card some delightful dimension. Step 2, we're going to cut out 3 2.5-inch squares from parasol bouquet. The first thing what we want to do when creating our fussy mussy cones are we want to break down the fibers in these papers. So just taking a bone folder, the edge of your table, whatever you want to do, you can just work this around, adding some nice curl to your paper, but ultimately what it's really doing is making the paper more pliable so we can shape it into our cone a little bit easier. So just kind of like curling a ribbon with the side of your scissors is the motion we're going for. Now that I have started to break down these fibers, you can just always pinch between your 2 thumbs and do it that way as well. We're going to start to roll and create our little cone. So the more you play with your paper, the more it's going to want to move for you. So maybe I just want to get down in this corner a little bit more, curl that up. We're going to be doing 3 of these little cones in a row next to each other. So these ones we want to be on the tighter side. But once you have it how you like it, like so, you can go ahead and you could use a hot glue gun at this point if you'd like, or you could use some liquid adhesive and a paper clip. So let's try it both ways and see how we like it. First, I will try it with my favorite liquid adhesive, which is this art glitter glue. Just going to put a line down the edge and curl that once again. Clean up my seam. So my seam will be down on our card front, so not to worry if it's not the cleanest. And we're going to take a little clip and hold that shut until it dries. Let's try the hot glue gun. Once you like it how it is, you can go ahead and grab that hot glue gun. So I have my hot glue gun. I have my little cone. You notice my glue is a little on the yellow side. I think that this glue gun I'm working with is pretty vintage. I don't know that we've used it since we've gone to a trade show. It's just been a few years. So there's the hot glue method. Here is our liquid method. What do you think? Next, we're going to cut out 3 pink strips from our parasol bouquet. Just the scraps, about the same size, and go ahead and curl those with your bone folder. We are going to add these to the top of our cones and do a little trimming so they look nice and neat. So with just a strip of our adhesive along the top, I'm going to wrap this around my cone. Once I go all the way around, you can trim off the excess. Stripe goes around in a nice straight circle. Once those dry, you can take your fine tip scissors and just cut around the top. Now we're going to hide any of our blemishes and make this look like a beautiful little cone by topping it off with our marine blue ink that came in your kit. Of course, if you're playing along at home, you can just use any inks that are going to coordinate. You just gotta love how just adding that little touch of ink just really brings this together and makes it look so polished and nice. Next, we're going to add some adhesive to our not so beautiful side, or side with the seam. And I'm taking my largest cone first, and then I'm going to go about an inch from my, I don't know, is that a ½ inch from my bottom left-hand corner on the diagonal, and adhere this big boy there. And then I will take my other 2 cones and working on that seam. These ones were a little bit smaller, so they'll look better next to the big one. Now, while the adhesive is still wet, I'm just going to kind of manipulate these and get these to go where I want them to go. So kind of shaping them to fill the gaps like so. Now we're going to have some fun with flowers. So I'm just taking this box from our Cottage Life kit from earlier this year, and I am going to put my flowers in here so I don't lose any pieces and they're easier to find what I'm looking for. So now that I have them in here, I'm just going to grab an assortment of flowers that I want to play with. So these are the pieces I've selected. These 2 I'm going to fold in half. These are going to be stacked, and some greenery. So now we're going to take our inks. I just have a little makeup sponge here. You could use your Dauber, your Tim Holtz thing, whatever you've got. I just push this in my Inkpad, and we're going to do what Nancy calls generational stamping. So we're going to start in our center, and then we're going to work our way out, not reapplying our ink. Like so, and then I'm going to flip this over and do the same. So I'm not reapplying my ink and just working my way outward. So I've ended up with some pieces that look like this. Of course, you could do the same with all of your pieces, or you could try some other inking techniques. So let's just get our ink on one side of our petals, going around in a circle, and ink up our center like so. We'll do the same on the other side. So that's a fun different technique. Reapplied my ink, and now I'm just going to get the edges of my petals leaving the center white, and I'll do the same on the back side. You know, it's all about just having fun and trying out some new things. So we'd love to hear what your favorite inking techniques are. I know you could also pull out your watercolor pens and get those in your Inkpad and have a lot of fun that way. If you've been a Club G45 subscriber for long, you to the card kit, you may have already received the peachy pink Inkpad with our Wild and Free kit, and that would be super fun to add to this kit as well. Add some pink. So I'm just gonna ink this whole center up with the marine blue, and that inks beautifully. This one I'll leave as is, same with this one, and this little guy I'll ink all blue as well. Add your greenery. So I'm just taking one of these first big flowers that I did. I'm just going to take my sponge and kind of wipe it all across. So I still have those nice little splatters, but I'm getting a nice blue all around. So I'm just going to put my adhesive in the center. That way we can kind of play with the petals. I've added this ivory one with some foam adhesive and then curled this cute little tiny one on the top. And take one of these large daisies and just go ahead and fold that in half like so. Dot of adhesive on the inside as well as to the back. And this is going to go right here. So you can see how I've arranged my flowers using some foam adhesive and just kind of making a fun explosion of beautiful florals. To make this even more exciting, we're going to fill up our cones with some confetti. So we've just cut from our scraps that we've been using, our parasol bouquet. We've cut about 14 different scrap pieces that are about 1/4 of an inch by 4 inches. Really, you could just do however many you want. We've used some pinking shears here to give it some little texture. You could use any of your decorative scissors or just keep them nice and straight like we have here. So I've just added some hot glue to my cone, and I'm going to take my pieces quickly and just start folding them in half and shoving them into that hot glue. Maybe 3 or 4 pieces should do, like so. So there you have it. Now I'm just going to trim some of my pieces that might just be a little too long. Now for our front finishing touches, I'm just going to ink my little chipboard pieces with my blue ink, and I've got 2 of these square cuties and a circle. So I've got all of my little confetti cannons shooting outwards. Nancy has hers a little bit differently than I do. She's got hers coming down the side. So you could do it either way. Let us know which way you prefer. I think both ways are super fun and have a different vibe. So you may have noticed that I adhered my cones not only upside down on my paper, but my card opens from the wrong way. So I've added some adhesive, and I'm just going to adhere this whole card onto another card base. So if you happen to make a mistake and you have extra card bases or extra cardstock around, it's an easy, quick fix to fix this sense. There's no way I can take all of that off and fix it. So here we go. So now I have my cones going right side up, and you won't even notice my parasols in the background being upside down, and we can work now on the inside. On the inside, we've taken a strip of our parasol bouquet, and we've got it to be 1 3/4 by 5 1/2, and adhered that down. And now I'm taking one of these cut apart papers from the Life is Sweet, and I've just added adhesive on the top and bottom. That way it's a nice little belly band if I do want to slip in a gift card or any other goodies. So we finished our card number 1. Here is how Nancy has decorated this super cute little envelope with the leftovers. Now to create a more flat version of this with your leftovers, this is what Nancy has used. She has used the crepe Suzette for the background, Bon Appetit for the second layer, and she's made her fussy mussy cones out of the confectionery and the Café Parisian blue polka dot border. Use some of those flowers, chipboard pieces. And on the inside, she's used the B side of Bon Appetit and a cut apart from our Life is Sweet. Card 2. So our step 1 of card 2, we've taken postage patisserie and we've cut it to 4 by 5 1/4, and we've adhered that to the center of the card. Next, we're going to take our Café Parisian B side. You gotta love these stripes. And cut it to 3 1/2 by 4 3/4, and then add your foam adhesive and pop this up. Step 2, we've cut this piece of postage patisserie to 3 by 3. Now we're going to shape it into our cone using the same method we did before. Choosing one corner, want to slowly create a nice little cone like so. It doesn't need to be perfect by any means, so this is going to be good enough for me. And then I'm going to pinch here, and then I'm going to add some hot glue to this little triangular section here. Ooh. So I've got my cone going on. From creme de la creme, we're going to cut out this border strip here, as well as a equal sized 1/4 inch border of the B side here. Around until you've got it overlapping a bit, and then we'll add some adhesive. Add your adhesive and wrap this around. And do the same with your second border. So it should look like this. And then we're going to trim off our excess. Take my nail file and smooth that out just a bit. And then of course ink that up. Next, we're going to take about 12 inches of ribbon or twine, whatever you've got in your stash that coordinates, and we're going to wrap this around the center of our cone. Get to our center point, and then we'll go ahead and tie this in a knot. Tie it up and then add just a dot of hot glue. You can see I may have added a little more than a dot, but it'll do the trick. Now we're going to prepare our embellishments. So I have this boulangerie oval chipboard piece, and I'm just going to ink my edges after I sand down those nubs. I'll do the same here. And now we're going to do some more inking to these gorgeous ivory die cut flowers. So I'm just going around the edges to start, and then I'm going to work my way in. So I'm not going to re-ink at any point, so my darkest points will be on the outer edges, and it'll get lighter as I go in. From Petite 4, we're going to add this border that says "The best things are sweet," and that's 3 1/2 inch. And then we're going to start to add our embellishments, starting with my greenery, adding my florals, then hot gluing on our cone, then our chipboard pieces. And then from some of these gorgeous papers, we have upper crust, postage patisserie, confectionery, and the signature page Café Parisian. We have fussy cut out about 12 tiny little desserts. Start adhering these to the back and around the cone. I'm going to start adhering them to the front as well, or the inside front of the cone, like so. So there you have it, all of our sweets exploding outside of our little cone. Add a 1.5 inch by 5.5 inch strip to the inside of the card. Journaling card and a butterfly. I adhered my journaling card in an L shape, so I can always tuck something in back there if I'd like. Nancy decorated this envelope up with some more fussy cuts, making it so much fun. Now taking that template and creating a flat version of that. Here is what we have. We have for the background, parasol bouquet, upper crust, some great flowers, and some different sizes of circles punched out of our upper crust paper. Our cone is from Bon Appetit, and this little label is from our creme de la creme paper. And here our cut apart is from Life is Sweet with a Café Parisian border. Card 3. Card 3, step 1, we've taken a piece of confectionery and we've cut it to be 4 inches by 5.25. We've added a piece of upper crust on top of that. That's 3.5 by 4.75. Next, we're gonna fussy cut out this large umbrella from our Café Parisian paper. And then we're going to take a Kraft knife and just slowly work along our umbrella edge here with our Kraft knife. You can see mine has already been cut out for you, so I'm just slowly going through showing you which edges we are cutting. So just along this umbrella edge here, always put your blade away, and then you can see we have a nice little opening here. So it stays all intact as one piece, but we've got a great opening. So I've added a combination of foam adhesive to the round curvature of our umbrella, and up to the top I've added some liquid adhesive, so it will adhere onto the bottom in a diagonal of our card like so. So the back side will adhere flat onto our polka dots, and then I will have this will be popped up ever so slightly so I can add some flowers and other goodies in here. Select an assortment of flowers and maybe even a butterfly. Ink up your flowers, arrange your flowers. Grab this cute little tag chipboard, add some twine and knot the ends. And this is going to go right up at the top left. I just added a butterfly to our flower, and then on the inside we have added this little border and one of these fun cut aparts that I've just adhered in an L shape so we can slide something right in there. And you can see Nancy has decorated up this envelope with some cute leftovers. So fun. Now to create this card, that's the flat version and a little more simple. We have got our creme de la creme in the background, cherry on top here, and then we have a nice little cut apart from our creme de la creme as well. This large umbrella is from our other Café Parisian paper, and we've got a stamp and a butterfly. The stamps come from Postage Patisserie, and this comes from Life is Sweet. We hope you enjoyed creating these fun and dimensional cards with us today. Let us know in the comments below which one is your favorite. We also love to see your projects, so go ahead and share those with us on Instagram using the G45 hashtag. We thank you so much for joining us. If you're looking for more great tutorials like this one, perhaps the Café Parisian folio, subscribe to our YouTube channel and then hit that notification bell so you know each and every time we upload a fun and fabulous project like this one. Thank you again, and as always, happy paper crafting.